Well, good morning, everybody. Jughead here. It is the 22nd of January, 2021. It's a nice day out there. It looks like a nice day to start my next ferry project. A lot of people have always asked, wanting to see videos of my ferry trips, and a lot of times I prefer actually not to do video work with them. The trips are complex enough. There's enough other things I'm having to concentrate on about flying airplanes that I'm not used to flying every single day, challenging weather, routes. But this is going to be a fairly easy ferry trip, I hope. A little knock on wood here. So I'm going to take you along on this one. We're here at home in Snohomish right now. Dakota is probably extremely bummed out because he knows that I'm packing, and I'm not packing the clothes that he gets to normally go with me. So we're going to take a J-3 Cub from Central Washington over to Sheridan, Wyoming. And if you're wondering, like, Sheridan, weren't you just there? I was. 2 weeks ago I was in Sheridan delivering the 180 from Anchorage. So let me show you what it takes to take a J3 in the middle of January through the cold weather Mountain West. Not a lot of gear, but it's all warm gear. So here's what we got. Basically got one bag here. We've got 3 different layers of long john bottoms of different varieties. We've got a balaclava for the head gear. Long john tops of 2 different sizes. These are thermal pants, as well as a pair of ski pants here. And so I've got some options based on how cold it actually gets. Over the top of that's going to go my Great Points North heli jacket. Super comfortable, super warm, super lightweight. Absolutely love this thing. In the pockets, I've got 1 spare set of lightweight gloves, and I've got another stocking hat balaclava right there. I've got some insulated flying gloves from my Air Force days, and I've got some heavy Gore-Tex gloves. These are mainly if for some reason I find myself on the ground unexpectedly, so more in the survival mode. Talking about the survival mode, got a hat here from the old Stoll Expo back at Wisconsin. New Holstein. Got my survival personal locator beacon. Of course, got a headlamp and a backup flashlight. Glass cleaning stuff. Got some heat pads and materials, Kleenexes, toilet paper, stuff like that I need along the way. Pair of socks and underwear. Small overnight bag. A pad to sit on. You just never know how comfortable that J3 back seat's going to be, especially 8-9 hours of flying. I actually have a gift from my last customers, a little appreciation gift for my customers. Here's my electronics, which I'll have a couple of my cameras in. Of course, I got my sectionals. You know me. I am a paperwork kind of guy. So I've got a paper checklist here of everything that I need or don't need. I've got a paper nav log filled out. Here's just my snacks along the way. Don't have a lot of time to slow down and eat. This trip I basically have about an hour and a half of spare time between sun up and sunset. The airplane has strobes, but that is about it. So my goal is to be airborne at the beginning of civil twilight, land at the end of civil sunset, and that should do it. So that's what I got in the one backpack that'll go with me, and we'll take you along a little bit later this afternoon. We're going to jump in Bill Buchanan's Cessna 170. He's going to fly me over to Quincy. But that's what it looks like when you get a pack for a J3 ferry trip.
So this is the planned route, one I've used many times. We're going to leave Quincy, head on over to Moses Lake, spend the night, just get that 40 miles out of the way. Leave in the morning with my brother, go up over Spokane, Mullen Pass, drop into Missoula, Montana, and then down around the corner. Fuel at Deer Lodge, out over Butte, Bozeman, refuel somewhere around Livingston, hopefully make Billings about an hour and a half before sunset so that I can make it down to Sheridan by the end of civil twilight. Big picture overview of that same route. Took it as a good omen that there was a J3 taxiing out at Harvey as we were taking off in Bill's 170. It was beautiful weather for flying over the Cascades. Definitely a great day for flying or skiing. This here is Stevens Pass Resort. The trip to Quincy takes about an hour and 20 minutes in the 170. Beautiful scenery of the Cascade Mountains, and then it opens up into the farmlands of Central Washington. There wasn't a lot of snow, though, in the mountains, and that was something we were going to see as a trend throughout the Mountain West.
Well, thanks to Bill for the nice ride over. It's cool when you get to go in style in another 170. We're here at Quincy Flying Service, Mark Brown's place.
Here she is, a 1939 J-3 Cub, upgraded to a 90 horsepower Continental, November 23145. Well, with every new Ferry, I spend time with the previous owner, talk about the airplane, any known issues with it, any irregularities with it. Mark's a friend. I've known and trusted him for a number of years, so when he told me it was a good airplane, I believed him. So I didn't have to do an acceptance flight on it like I do a lot. My brother and his lovely fiancee Kim were at their hangar in Moses Lake, W20, to meet me and help me put the airplane to bed.
Well, we got the quick reposition leg out of the way, a whole 40 miles from Quincy to Moses Lake. Nice flight. Brought it in here to my brother's hangar, his PA-12, getting ready for the trip tomorrow. The 182 is going to spend the cold night outside because we'll put both airplanes in there. But I appreciate Mike and Kim putting me up for the night. She flew well. She's all cleaned up, ready to go for tomorrow. Well, it's about that time. It's chilly, 18 degrees. Just getting the sun on the horizon, or at least getting some sunlight.
So the day was going to be challenged by sun on both ends. I needed to have civil twilight and obviously for safety a good horizon to take off. And I was trying to get into Sheridan by the end of civil twilight as well. This is being shot on my GoPro and it makes it look a lot darker than it actually was. My brother Mike had planned to fly both ways with me in his PA-12, but the weather for the return trip on Sunday wasn't looking so great, so he decided instead just to go up to Mullen Pass. Then he was going to go down south to the Snake River and check out some buddies and do some fun flying there. About the time the sun got fully up, right in the front of the windscreen, we were only 40 miles from home and we already had our first decision to make. The weather on Mullen Pass was not living up to the forecast, so the decision was made. Divert down to the southeast to Pullman, Washington. Go grab some fuel, check some weather, and look at some plans to go over Lolo Pass. As a ferry pilot, you've always got to be ready for the unexpected, because it will happen. As I taxied in at Pullman, Washington, I was met by the son of one of our flying friends who goes to college and works at the FBO. He got to fuel the airplane, and there was another young man there that was actually looking to buy this exact same airplane. What a small world.
Hey, why isn't my window clean yet? Let's go! God damn, college kids!
Work for the city. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You should know that. You were a government worker for 20 years.
Jeez. What's up?
Well, it took me about 45 to 50 minutes to go from Pullman to where I could look up the mouth of Lolo Pass. And it didn't look bad, but it definitely didn't look great. One thing about the J-3, you just never have enough fuel in it. So I decided to fly another 25 miles south to Grangeville, Idaho. I stopped, topped off the tanks. That way I had a good full fuel load to use when I got into Lolo Pass. It's about 85 miles across, one way in, one way out, with really no good weather reporting. I knew the east side of the pass was clear, but I wanted to have enough gas to basically go all the way to the summit, which was 85% of the way through, and be able to turn around and come back out safely if need be. Thing about trips like this, you just never know who you're going to meet. Here's a 170 I'd never seen before. I walked over, introduced myself real quick. They were getting ready to go fly, so I didn't want to interrupt them much. But when I taxied out, they were taking off, so I grabbed the camera and sent the footage a little later to Josh Fry. It's great, new friends. I'm sending a text to update my position to the 3 to 4 people that I always keep my flight plan tracking with. I'm usually running too low to use flight following. Wasn't the only one enjoying a beautiful day. Here's 3 skiers up at the Lolo summit. The snow machiners were out, the snowshoers, the hikers, the skiers. The parking lot was pretty full. The amount of snow was still really low compared to what it should be. We're going to need a good February and March to get the snowpack up out west. Here's the Lolo Hot Springs, and while I was pretty chilled, I wasn't really that cold, but I gotta admit, that warm water sounded pretty inviting about now. This airplane has a standard 12 gallons in its nose tank and auxiliary 8.5 gallons in the wing. You use about half the nose, turn the valve on, watch it flow, top off the main nose tank. Here we are using an aggressive slip as we come around the final turn for landing at Deer Lodge, Montana. Deer Lodge is one of my favorite fuel stops going through Montana. Nice facility, 2 runways, one of them being gravel. There was a real nice gentleman there that wanted to chat me up. I just don't think he realized that I was in a big hurry. I was looking at about a 8-minute fuel stop, and I think when I quit talking to him, and he got back in his pickup and left. But after the weather divert to Pullman and down to Grangeville for extra fuel, I didn't have any extra time in my day. If I was going to make Sheridan by nightfall, I had to keep this J-3 flying. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in for part 2 and see if we make it into Sheridan by the end of the day. Thanks for flying with me. Jughead's out.